Welcome all. Today I'm going to take up one topic. So, this topic I'll cover in a series of classes and I'll complete the topic. And the topic is theories of failure. First, we will discuss theories of failure under static loading. So let me complete these theories of failure under static loading. And generally we study this in machine design or strength of materials. First, let us see what is the need of failure theories. I repeat, these classes are dedicated on static loading. So we have failure theories under dynamic loading category also, like Soderberg, Goodman, that will be seen separately. So in series of lectures, maybe video 1, video 2, whatever it may be, first let me focus on static theories of failure under static loading. The aim of machine design is, when you are designing some component, it should not fail. Point number 1 is it should not fail. Point number 2. So we try our level best so that the material does not fail. We try our level best. But unfortunately, let us assume that the material failed. If at all failure occurs, it should fail safe without harming anyone, any component, anyone. So two things that you need to keep in mind is, point number 1, when you are designing a component, it should not fail, point number 1. Second, if at all it fails, it should fail safe. Now a question may come in your minds, what is the meaning of a failure, or rather what is the meaning of failure? Chalo dekhte hai. Right. Now, let's see what is the meaning of failure. Failure. See, it doesn't necessarily mean breaking or fracture of a component. I repeat, it doesn't necessarily mean the fracture or breaking of a component. Then what is a failure? It may be fracturing of the component, maybe, but not necessarily. What does it mean? ऐसा नहीं कि फेलियर का मतलब हमेशा प्रोडक्ट ब्रेक होना, नहीं, जरूरी नहीं है. The non-ability of the component to perform its assigned function. जिस कंपोनेंट का फंक्शन है एक वर्क करना, a particular work is assigned for a particular component. If that member is not in a position to perform its assigned function, is failure. Very good. Now, for example, मशीनिंग में हमें एक पर्टिकुलर सरफेस फिनिश चाहिए. Maybe due to tool malfunction or whatever it may be. So if you do not get that particular surface finish, yes, it is a failure. It is not performing its function properly. Yes, it is a failure. Now, under static loading, my dear students, under static loading, there are 5 failure theories. I repeat, 5 failure theories. First one, okay, we'll take one by one in detail. First one, maximum. So I expect you, when you are watching this video, I expect you to know some fundamentals and basics of strength of materials, especially combined loading principal stresses. So it is a prerequisite for this topic. Maximum principal stress theory. which is also known as Rankine's theory. Okay. Second, maximum principal strain theory. I repeat, maximum principal strain theory, which is also known as Saint Venant theory. Third one, maximum shear stress theory, which is also known as Tresca or Guest theory. Tresca or Guest theory. Guest theory. And the fourth one is total strain energy theory. It is also known as Haigh's theory. H-A-I-G-H-S. Haigh's theory. And the last one, very important one, distortion energy theory. Distortion energy theory. It is also known as von Mises theory. Von Mises theory. Henke von Mises theory. Let us see, in my series of lectures, my plan or the course of action is maybe a 30-minute video, maybe 1 hour video, but I'll complete all failure theories and along with lovely numericals. So first, let me complete all failure theories, then we'll consider, rather, I would compare all failure theories. After comparing all failure theories, we will see which theory is most conservative or safe theory and which theory is most practical. All those things we will discuss in detail. I request you to go through these videos if you like it. I'm not forcing anyone. If you feel that these are informative and useful to you, I request you to maintain the continuity. Chalo, let's take the first failure theory. Okay. Now, the first failure theory that I take is maximum principal stress theory, which is also known as Rankine's theory. What we do is, what is this failure theory and for what type of materials this theory is used and what are the advantages or shortcomings of this particular theory, let us understand in detail. So first failure theory is maximum principal stress theory. Very good. What does this theory say? So for every theory, we have a statement. Let's see what is the statement of this. And what exactly failure theories give, let us see. Now the fundamental question that comes to our mind is, why do we need failure theories? That is the fundamental question. So you may be asking me a question, sir, we have conducted a tensile test on UTM and already we know the failure stress. Or if it is a ductile material, we know yield point, and if it is a brittle material, we know the ultimate point. These are considered as failure criterion for brittle, ductile and brittle material. For ductile materials, yielding is considered to be a failure condition. And for brittle materials, the ultimate stress is considered as the failure limit. Chalo. So you may be wondering, sir, already we have conducted tensile test. We know what is the ultimate stress, what is the yield stress for different materials. Then why do we need these failure theories? Very good question. When we conducted test on UTM, that test is uniaxial loading. Maybe tensile, maybe compressive, it is uniaxial. but my actual components are most of the times may not be subjected to uniaxial loading. There may be combined loading. What do I mean? If you take a loaded member, it may be subjected to bending stresses, it may be subjected to torsional shear stresses, or maybe combined both. Let us take a gear mounted on the shaft. It is subjected to bending, it is subjected to torsional stresses. So under combined loading, this is under uniaxial. So failure theories connect between uniaxial loading and actual combined loading. So what we do is, we take the combined loaded member, and in the combined loaded member, we may be either finding maximum normal stress, maybe in the form of principal stresses, or maximum shear stress. Then I will be comparing under combined loading, which I calculated maximum normal, maximum shear, with the uniaxial. That's it. Okay. Then what is maximum principal stress theory? Good. According to this theory, failure of a member occurs. I repeat, according to this theory, failure of a member occurs when the maximum stress in the member, of course normal, the maximum normal stress in the member or the maximum principal stress is reaching either yield in case of ductile or ultimate in case of brittle materials. So please note down clearly, in a combined loaded member, failure occurs. तो ऐसा करो आप, we have a combined loaded member. What do you mean by combined loaded? For example, let us take a loaded member. There may be a stress like this. This is the stressed element, and this is anti-clockwise. चलो, अगर ये anti-clockwise है तो ये क्या? If this is anti-clockwise, it is in static equilibrium. So therefore, if it is anti-clockwise, this has to be clockwise. So yes, this is my combined. तो क्या करेंगे हम? You calculate maximum principal stress of this combined loaded member. Chalo, let's calculate. And I told you very clearly, the prerequisite or the prior condition for watching this video is you need to know a bit of strength of materials, especially principal stresses chapter. Okay. It is given by sigma x plus sigma y bit. All these, you'll be discussing this in strength of materials. So under root of sigma x minus sigma y by 2 ka whole square plus tau x y square. Okay, no issues. This is my max sigma 1 plus sigma 2 minus. These are principal stresses. So according to this theory, failure of this actual member occurs when these principal stresses are either equal or greater than yield or ultimate stresses. So for safety, for no failure, these principal stresses must be less than, or in fact less than, even reaching is failure. It should be less than yield in case of ductile, ultimate in case of brittle materials. So set kiya condition, it has set a condition. What is that condition? If you do not want failure, these actual, ये तो actual loaded member है, it should be less than the yield, wherein you calculated that yield under uniaxial tension. Therefore, I told you very clearly, these failure theories are linked between combined loading and actual our uniaxial testing में जो find out किए. Okay, now I write for no failure, sigma 1 should be less than sigma y or sigma ultimate, whatever it may be, or sigma 2 less than sigma y or sigma ultimate, depending on the material. My dear students, it is assumed that the yield stress in tension and compression are almost same. लगभग रहता है भी, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. So the yield stress in tension and compression are assumed to be almost same. So therefore, these are valid either in tension or in compression. Now, but please note down, my dear students, the problem with principal stress is it considers only one stress. What is that stress? Maximum principal stress. Apart from maximum principal stress, it will not touch any stress. तो ये भी तो हो सकता है ना. तो it is taking care of only one stress. Then what about maximum shear? It is not talking about anything. That is one of the failures. That is one of the drawbacks of this particular theory. We'll be seeing a little later. चलो, अब हम क्या करेंगे? Now, my dear students, let us try to plot a graph between principal stresses, that is sigma 1, sigma 2. This is the plot between sigma 1 and sigma 2. Have a look at this. My dear students, observe clearly. And if you take one particular stressed element, and obviously you are on the right side, so sigma 1 is positive. Positive का मतलब tensile. You are up, moving up. Origin से ऊपर जा रहा है. So it is tension. So therefore sigma 2, sigma 2. So in the first quadrant, it clearly shows both principal stresses are positive. Let's move to second quadrant. My sigma 1 x-axis has moved to negative. Origin से negative आया. So therefore I write this as sigma 1. And origin से ऊपर का मतलब क्या है? Tensile, positive. Therefore it is sigma 2. Now come to this third quadrant. यहां पे sigma x negative, sigma y negative, दोनों नीचे आ रहा है. You are coming down negative and you are coming left. So both are compressive in nature. Yes, sigma 2. Come here. If you see, my dear students, x is positive and y is negative. So now I can say quadrant 1 and quadrant 3, the stresses, principal stresses are like principal stresses, like both are tensile, so like both are compressive, like means same nature. And if you go to quadrant 2 and 4, this is tensile and this is compressive, unlike. And if you go to this quadrant, fourth quadrant, this is tensile and this is compressive. So these are unlike stresses. And we'll study this in a detailed manner. Do not worry at all. Do not worry. Chalo, ab we'll try to plot a graph and try to show the safe region under maximum principal stress theory. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. Very good. And it's a request to all of you, if you are watching, watch it completely rather than watching in bits and pieces. Chalo, have a look at this. You know, my dear students, अगर failure नहीं होना है, sigma 1 should be less than, अगर ductile metals ले रहे, it should be less than yield. Limiting case क्या है? All equal, limiting. And sigma 2 less than sigma y. But again, limiting case is what? Equal. ये तो sigma y positive means tension. Even under compression, it should not reach yield. So therefore, I will write sigma 1 is less than minus. What does minus sign show? Compressive. What does plus? And I told you very clearly, it is assumed that the yield stress in tension and compression are assumed to be same. So therefore, sigma 2 is less than or equal to minus sigma y. So overall, we have 4 conditions. I will take limiting case. Of course, sigma 1 should be less than yield. Yield को cross नहीं होना है. चलो, let's try to plot. The plot is between sigma 1 and sigma 2. Okay. Now, my dear students, what does sigma 1 means? X-axis. इसका मतलब it is x-axis. For a particular material, sigma yield is constant. So therefore, sigma 1 का मतलब क्या है? On x-axis. So it is something like x less than equal to constant. Sigma 2. What is sigma 2? Y. Y less than equal to. You know very well how to draw these lines. You know very well. So therefore, now check this, my dear students. Chalo. Let me try to plot. We'll take a different color. Okay, fine. Now, let's try to draw sigma 1 equal to sigma y. मतलब actually it is less. I'm drawing limiting case. इसको cross करना है. It is something like sigma 1. What is sigma 1? X. It is something like x is equal to constant. So how do I draw x is equal to constant? So x is equal to constant का मतलब क्या होगा? Parallel to y axis. Excellent. This is my equation of sigma 1 is equal to sigma y. Actually, it should be less. मतलब इससे नीचे, left side, it is less. It's not more. It's not more. This is one of the equations. Now you take the third equation. What is that? Sigma 1 is less than minus sigma y. So same sigma y. So same sigma y. So again, it is sigma 1. What does sigma 1 mean? Means x. So it is again parallel to y-axis, sigma 1. So this can be written as sigma 1 is equal to minus sigma y, but it should be less. It should not be greater than that. Second equation. It is sigma 2 is less than or equal to sigma y. What is sigma 2? Sigma 2 is y-axis. When y is equal to constant, is parallel to x-axis. So therefore, it is something like sigma 2 is equal to sigma y because it is positive. And when you come, sigma 2 is minus sigma y. Yes. This all straight lines. This is sigma 2 is minus sigma y. Very good. Now, please note on that it says, first line says less than, second says less than, third says less than, fourth says less than. So my dear students, if you see failure, no failure, for safety, this is the region. Yes, this is the region. देखो, the shape is ये भी sigma y है, so it is a square. So please note down that. It is the safe region according to. I repeat, it is the safe region according to maximum principal stress theory. It is a safe region according to maximum principal stress theory. It is the safe region. Very good. So it is bounded by this. It is a safe region. No problem at all. Now let us see some of the complications. Of this. Matlab, I don't say complications, but drawbacks rather, I would say. What are the problems associated with this theory? Okay, fine. Now, let's move to the next slide. Chalo. Now, let us take a member subjected to pure torsion. I want to apply maximum principal stress theory to a case wherein the member is subjected to pure torsion. Yes. If you take any element on the surface, my dear students, तो इसका अगर हम लोड डायग्राम देखेंगे तो you have something like this. Tau, ये एंटी क्लॉकवाइज है तो ये क्लॉकवाइज होगा. This is anti-clockwise, this is clockwise. Okay, fine. This is the stressed element on the surface. Chalo. I want to apply maximum principal stress theory to a member subjected to pure torsion. Good. Let's try to draw Mohr's circle for this. So we'll see some interesting facts. Mohr's circle is plotted between normal stress and shear stress. This is the origin. Okay. You know, my dear students, on this stressed element, which is subjected to pure torsion, on this surface, you have sigma x0, no normal stress. On this perpendicular to this, iska perpendicular, no sigma y, and our tau xy is tau xy. Very good. Let us see where the center of this Mohr's circle is. And we know that Mohr's circle center lies on x-axis because the y-coordinate in Mohr's circle is 0. Where is the center? Sigma x plus sigma y by 2, 0. There is no sigma x for pure torsion, no sigma y, so 0 plus 0 by 2 is 0. So the center lies on origin. It lies at the origin. What is the radius of Mohr's circle? We know that the radius of Mohr's circle is sigma x minus sigma y by 2 ka whole square plus tau xy square. Very good. What is sigma x? 0. What is sigma y? 0. So this is 0. And tau xy is tau. This is 0 and this is tau. So tau square root is tau. So the radius is tau. Okay. So the radius is tau. This is the center. With this as center and this tau as the radius, draw a circle. Okay. And you know circle ka radius tau hai, so all these are tau only. Yes. Now you know this is the maximum principal stress. How much is sigma 1? Sigma 1 kitna hai? This is the maximum principal stress, that is tau. And the minimum principal stress sigma 2 is minus tau. This is, dekho, it is on the left side but still it is tau. Therefore it is minus tau. Okay. So when a member is subjected to pure torsion, if the maximum shear stress, dekho, this is on this axis you have tau. So this is the maximum tau which is equal to tau. The maximum shear stress is tau. I write. And the maximum principal stress is tau. Abhi to bataya. Maximum principal stress is tau. Minimum is minus tau. Minimum is minus tau. Let's see. What are we going to do with this? My dear students, let us take a particular member, एक particular material ले लेंगे जिसका yield stress, I am taking one material whose yield stress is 350 megapascal. Okay, तो ध्यान से सुनो अब. According to maximum principal stress theory, if the normal stress or if the maximum principal stress for this particular material when subjected to combined loading is less than 350, then it will be safe. Actually whether it is safe or not, that is a different issue. This theory is saying, I do not know whether this theory is in agreement with practical practice or not. तो ये theory क्या बोल रहा है? पहले theory पे ध्यान देंगे, उसके बाद में practically will come. So if this particular member is subjected to combined loading, if the maximum principal stress in this member is less than 350, it is safe. Actually whether it is safe or not, I don't know. But according to this theory, it is safe. Chalo. Good, my dear students. Have a look at this. It is found from experiments. I repeat. You forget left part. You focus on the right part. I have taken a member whose yield stress is 350 megapascal. Different materials have different yield points. That's a different issue. I have taken a particular material whose yield stress is 350 megapascal. It is observed from experiments the maximum shear stress should be less than, I repeat, it should be less than for no failure. ये कहां से आया? It's not a theory, it is from experiments. From experiments, the maximum shear stress should be less than 0.57 times the yield stress. ये एक्सपेरिमेंट्स बताता है, ये थ्योरी नहीं ये थ्योरी shear stress के बारे में बात ही नहीं करता. This theory doesn't talk about shear stress. It simply talks about maximum principal stress, that is normal stress only. So we have studied this failure theory. Now we'll attach that theory to practicality. Right. For this, let us see what should be the maximum shear stress. अगर ये material, a particular material, let us say X material, whose yield point is 350, if that material is subjected to some loading, for no failure, practically for no failure, ये experiment से observe किया गया है, क्या है? It should be less than 0.57 into 350. Okay, so roughly I think it is coming out to be 200 megapascal. Tau max is coming out to be 200. Means, ध्यान से सुनो. If I take a member whose yield stress is 350 megapascal, आपको yield का मतलब क्या है? Normal under uniaxial testing, and you know, under tension compression we assume it to be same. Chalo, they are normal stresses. But for the same member, different planes are subjected to different loadings. So on different planes you may have shear. तो experiments ये बोलते हैं, experiments suggest that the maximum shear stress should be less than 0.57 sigma y for no failure. तो ये तो experiment से आया है. Let us apply this to my principal stress theory, whether it is in agreement, whether practical conditions are in agreement with this failure theory or not. Let us see. ध्यान से सुनो. There is a member which is subjected to pure torsion, which we have already seen. देखो, for pure torsion, the maximum principal stress is tau, minimum is minus tau. Okay. Let us assume that sigma 1 is 300. Now tell me, according to maximum principal stress theory, is it safe or not? My maximum principal stress theory says only one thing. What is that? The maximum principal stress should be less than yield. What is yield for this material? 350. So 350 is yield. But what is our maximum? 300. So definitely 300 is less than 350. So according to maximum principal stress theory, it is safe. जब सिग्मा 1 300 है तो टाउ क्या है? सिग्मा 1 टाउ आर सेम for a member subjected to you know, you just see here, sigma 1 and tau are same. This is sigma 1 when member is subjected to pure torsion. Okay, when sigma 1 is 300, my tau is also 300. And what is that tau? It is the maximum shear stress. This theory is not talking anything about shear stress theory. It simply says मेरा maximum normal stress अगर yield से कम है तो मैं safe हूं. Different planes are under different loadings. There may be a plane where the maximum shear is 300. Yes, there will be according to this. But experiments suggest that maximum shear for this material, for this particular material which has a yield of 350 should be less than 200. But यहाँ पे maximum principal stress 300 है, which is less than 350. According to principal stress theory, it is safe, but the shear stress is crossing the experimental safe value. It is not safe under shear. It may fail by shear. And you know that ductile materials are weak in shear. So there is a threat to ductile materials which fail under shear. ये shear में fail होगा. That's why this theory is not at all used for ductile materials, because it is not taking care of ductile failure which are weak in shear. So ये केवल क्या बोल रहा है, normal तो ठीक है, लेकिन shear is, that is the problem with maximum principal stress theory. It simply talks about normal, but we have to see all now. If you take care of only one subject, will you be safe in GATE? No, nah. You have to take care of all. So I should check everything. Brittle materials are weak in tension. So it is taking, tension ka matlab normal. It is taking care of normal safe. So that's why this theory is predominantly used for brittle materials. I repeat, the maximum principal stress theory is predominantly used for brittle materials. So it is not taking care of shear. That's why ductile materials are weak in shear. They fail by shear. So this is the beauty of this theory. तो ये केवल किसके लिए अप्लाई करना है? You have to apply this theory only for brittle materials. So this is about maximum principal stress theory. In my next video, I'll talk about maximum principal strain theory and its implications, consequences, where it is used, what is happening in first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. All these I'll be discussing in detail. But a small request to all of you. If you are watching, watch continuously in continuation. 1, 2, 3, 4. This comes under the head Theories of Failure 1. So likewise, we have series of lectures. So I wish you all the best. Thank you. So let us close this video at the moment and I'll come up with my second video. Okay. Thank you. God bless you.